Good evening. Happy Sabbath. Greeting from High Point Chinese SDA Church in Collegedale. And I'm so happy to have all of you join us. So I know probably someone is coming. And if you are watching, and so may God bless you. And so I know there's another week. And I know there's a lot of story to share. But I'm so glad I'm standing here. And so I will have my brothers and sisters join me, and from different part of this world or from different part of this country. And I just wanted to invite you to starting to give your praise to the Lord, because He's the Almighty God. He's the King of Kings, Lord of Lord. And as I said many times, He alone can deliver. And I know, this past week, maybe you have gone through a lot, which I don't know. But there's one God who does care, who does know. And no matter how difficult situation or no matter how much challenge you are going through, but our God does care, and He loves you. He loves you more than you can understand. So tonight, I just wanted to invite you to join me. And this is my third week. I have to preach to the empty pews. And to be honest with you, sometimes I really hope and I can have more brothers, sisters can be here, and I can hug you, and I can hold your hands. I can tell you face by face, God loves you and we love you. And I actually, to be honest with you, I miss all of you guys. I miss all the faces. So I imagine, in front of me, all those empty pews who is sitting there, and I just want to include you in my prayer. And every day, and I just only can pray for you. Sometimes I come to church and I pray for you as well. I just imagine you are sitting there. I do hope that this can come to end very soon, and then we can be united again. We can come to see each other again, and we can shake hands. We can hold each other's hands. We can hug each other. We can talk. So we do need that. So I receive many messages from our brother sister. So they missed our church. They really want to come back. But right now, I really don't know how many more weeks we'll have to do this. But I hope it will come to end very soon. But tonight, I just want you to cheer up, so as long as God is with you, no matter where you are, and you are not alone, as long as God is with us, and we can have peace and joy, even though we have to face that what is ahead of us, the challenge, the uncertainties of our tomorrow. But you know what? We know who holds our tomorrow. And tonight, I'm going to share with you a new Chinese song, and which is really one of my favorites as well. And the name of the song is actually to soar like an eagle, soar in the sky like eagle. And I want to invite you to just stand up, and join me to sing this song. Even though you will not be able to follow me in Chinese, but you still can follow that Chinese English translation. 亲爱的弟兄姊妹，愿耶和华上帝祝福你，让我们今天能够如鹰展翅上腾。不管今天你在何地何方，不管今天你心境如何，不管你人生经历多少艰难，但耶稣爱你，上帝爱你，他会让我们如鹰展翅上腾。我们要行走不疲乏，奔跑不困倦。神已听见我的呼求，他也明白我的渴望，放下重担，脱去一切残累，恢复神造我的荣美形象。神已听见我的呼求，他也明白我的渴望，放下重担，脱去一切残累，恢复神造我的荣美形象。永在地神创造万物的主，他的智慧无法测度，疲乏的他赐能力，软弱的他加力量，等 等候耶和华必从新得力，如鹰展翅上腾，翱翔在神的国度里，飞越所有艰难和风暴，单单注视你荣耀宝座，如鹰展翅上腾，翱翔在神的国度里，领受神灵恩膏和大能，活出美好自由的风采。神已听见我的呼求，他也明白我的渴望，放下重担，脱去一切残累，恢复神造我的荣美形象，永在的神创造万物的主，他的智慧无法测度，疲乏的他赐能力，软弱的他加力量，等候耶和华必从新得力，如鹰展翅上腾，翱翔在神的国度里，飞越所有艰难和风暴，单单注视你荣耀宝座，如鹰展翅上腾，翱翔在神的国度里，领受神灵恩膏和大能，活出美好自由的风采，领受神灵恩膏和大能，活出美好自由的风采。My friend, in this world we will have trouble, but we do have a promise. We have a God who have overcome this world. In Him, we can truly have the peace, and He can give us His assurance of our tomorrow. I don't know what's going on in your life. I don't know how difficult your life is now. But I do know, and we have a victory in God, in Jesus Christ. 朋友们，我不知道你今天你身在何地何方，我也不知道你生命在经历何种艰难。但是我们有个应许告诉我们，主说：你们在世上有苦难，可是在我里面，我要让你有平安。亲爱的弟兄姊妹，我们知道我们人生会遇到特别难的时刻，正如此时此刻，正如在过去的几个星期当中，正如在接下几个星期当中，我们即将要去面对的。但我想告诉亲爱的弟兄姊妹，只要你心里有信，只要你心里有主，你什么都不用害怕，因为主要我成为你生命的救主，他爱你就必爱你到底。And there is a God in this world, and He loves you, and He will love you till the very end of your life. He not only loves you in this life, He will give you your hope of an eternal life. My friend, I just want you to join me tonight. Even though I cannot see you, but I know you can see me. Even though I cannot see you, but God can see you. Even though I cannot stay right beside you and give you comfort, but I do know God is right beside you, and He can give you comfort. And His words are very powerful, and He's our Almighty God. So I want to invite you to stand up with me, and let's have a prayer. And I want to invite Brian to have our opening prayer for me, for us, and then we can start to move on with our tonight's message.
Let's bow our heads for prayer. Dear Father in heaven, we thank you for another Sabbath that has come to our world. We thank you that those who are listening are safe in their homes and they are trusting in you for salvation and for their protection. Psalms 91 talks about how God protects us from diseases and pestilences, and we know that you are protecting many people around the world. We want to thank you for all our members around the world who are watching, and ask that you put your special hand on them this week and next week and throughout the course of this challenge for our world. And we also want to thank you for the chance that we have to speak to you as our Father. You created the universe, you run the worlds, but you're also willing to listen to us when we pray and when we ask for your advice and your counsel. Tonight be with Dennis, Pastor Dennis Lee, as he is speaking and preaching to us about being still in front of our God and in front of the one who made us. Help us to listen to what he has, the wisdom he has for us. As the song says, he has the ultimate wisdom more than any other source in the universe. And so let us be still and listen to him as he gives us words through Pastor Lee and also to our hearts directly. I pray this in Jesus' name. Amen.
Greet with each other. Even though you are home, probably, I don't know how many around you, but you still need to give a Sabbath hug to your family, to your friends right beside you. And so it's a time for us to celebrate, because God gave us the true Sabbath, which we can rest from this world, rest from all the world suffering. And actually, so we just join me, and so I'm just wanted to shake a hand. I want to hold your hands, my friend, and at this right moment, I will give you my hug to you. And I just send my hug from High Point Chinese SDA Church in Collegedale, and may God bless you, and so you can join us tonight. So tonight I'm going to share with you, and be still. And I know in past 2 weeks I have preached a whole series about the message which related to what's going on in this world now. And tonight will also about that. But I just want to do a little bit different tonight, So, and I want you to start think about it, So be still. It's harder to be still. And this week, past week, I have received a lot of message or phone call from my family, my friends in China, and a lot of people say, hey, Dennis, probably you need to think about it. You need to come home. You need to come home. It's safer here. And the reaction for me, actually, yes, it's according to the reports, it's much safer in China. But I still remember 2 months ago when I went back to China, and I received a lot of messages from this part of the world. My friends, relatives, and church members, church families text me, Dennis, you got to come home because it's safer here. And I know, and so things change. Things change 2 months, things change, So it was safe here, but now everybody talk about it's not safe any longer. And a lot of, I know, I cannot say a lot of students, but not here, around the United States. And I know they border air tickets, try to get home, and they paid a lot of money, try to get home, try to be on board because they think that's maybe the last chance for them to get home. And we do have two brothers, sisters, from this university. Also, they went home the week before last, and now they are still under quarantine. And they should have their freedom very, very soon. And I'm praise the Lord that as God brought them back home safe. But that made me think about it, it was very safe. It was very safe here. But why? What happened? And just 2 months later, now everybody started talking about this is no longer safe. A lot of people was planning, okay, hey, this is going to be a place I'm going to have my future. If I have all my dreams, so we do, when I was very young kids, so I heard a lot about American dream. So a lot of people came to American for their fortune. And we do see many people made their fortune here in this country. And a lot of people settle down, and they think they are American. And I know, and so for me, and a lot of new immigrants, they still struggle with their identity. But I am a student. I'm just graduated. I'm just working here, and so I have never thought this is my home yet. I have not. So I have a home in China. I have my family there, my relative there, and so that's it. That's every time when I'm ready to go home, I always feel very excited. But the reason I'm bringing this out is actually, so a lot of people, why they settle down here permanently, because they think this is their home, and they want to build their home, and they use all their life and all their resources and try to make this home be more attractive, more beautiful, and then they don't want to leave any longer. And if you ask a lot of like second generation or third generation of those immigrants, and probably you ask them, hey, where's your home? And their first reaction is, okay, this is my home. But even though they still look like a Chinese, but as a matter of fact, deep in their heart, they think they are American. They no longer speak Chinese, and they no longer knows the Chinese culture. And that's something. And one time, I have some friend told me that, so because he was born here in America, so we call it ABC, American born Chinese. When he went back to China, and everybody thinks he's Chinese, but he thinks I am a foreigner. He did not know what's going on there, and no culture. He really aware of that, So, and he does not feel quite fit for that country. So he did not feel quite comfortable stay there. They're surrounded by Chinese, So, and that's the problem. When we come back, you feel like, okay, this is the place, so I belong to. So, I just want to ask you, my friend, we're living in this world. Right? And how many people, or how many of you really like this world? And I don't know how many. Before this coronavirus, probably a lot of people saying, okay, everything's so good, economy is so strong, and while we have a bright future to go, and this 2020 will be fantastic year for all American, and maybe for all the world. But right now we're standing at that very end of March, and a lot of people starting to change their mind, perspective. They think that 2020 is going to be very difficult. It's very difficult. I know that, my friend, we live in this world, being Christian, we live in this world. We live in this world, but we carry a name of Christian. Christian is a follower of Christ. And how many of you do you think we have to live in this world permanently? How many people believe that we will still have to live here for a long time? And how many of you are ready to go home? How many of you think it's time for us to get ourselves ready to go home? And I know every day, just as my friend, my family from China text me, it's safer there. Come home. It was 2 months ago, and the people from here and my friends text me, okay, Dennis, come home. It's safer here. My friend, every single day, and God uses His messengers to reach you and me, and keep telling us, friends, son, daughter, get yourself ready. It's ready for you to go home. It's safer. It's not safer where you are now. And how many people respond this kind of call to this calling positively, actively? A lot of people just like Lot's wife. Even the angel told her, do not look back. The city is going to be destroyed. But she had too much in that city. She had a very good life over there. And she could not stop herself. She stood and looked back. And we all know what was her destiny. So tonight, I remind you, and also remind myself, especially in this week. And this Tuesday, we have a special prayer meeting. And I was very emotional, and that because I went to see some brother, sister, but I could not see them because I will try to give them some mask. So I could not see them. I have to stay at a very long distance, especially those older brother, sister. And I don't want them to be put them in any danger. So I just talked to them in a far distance. And I really wanted to hug them. They told me they miss me. They told me they miss me and they wanted to come back to church. But I really don't know what I can do. And I just only told them, okay, well, we will be able to see each other very soon. And you are in my prayer. And you know what? This world is not perfect, my friend. If you think of this, this is your hometown. If you think this is your home, you will plan for a long live here. My friend, it's time for you to do that. And tonight I'm going to share this passage from the Exodus. Why I'm using that passage? Because so there Israelites live in Egypt for over 400 years. And when I had my Bible study with my children, and they asked me, why did they stay there for that long? Because Jacob was in the Canaan, there was that promised land, and because of the famine, right? And they went into Egypt. But they were not supposed to stay there forever. But why did they stay there for that long time? Because the Pharaoh gave them a very good piece of land. And they can have very, very easy life there. Very easy life. People respect them just because of Joseph. And people like them. So they just started, okay, this is my perfect place. I want to settle down forever. So they plan, they build, they marry, and then they settle down. And once they settle down, they don't want to leave until something happened to them. Until the persecution came. Until that they will not be able to live a good life as they expected. And then they started to cry to God. They cried to God, okay, God, this is not a place. You got to deliver me. God answered their cry. And God did send his person to deliver them. But you know what? People were very happy to leave. But actually, so not too long before they left, and after they left, and we can find it, they started complaining. They start complaining, and they miss their life in Egypt. They miss those they forget the persecution, they forget the hard time, they forget the slavery, and they just miss. They have good food to eat, right? They have some good friends to see each other. That's a problem. And God used almost 40 years to teach them, to prepare them, and get them into the promised land. And tonight I wanted to study this message with you, but I use a be still because this is one of that passage which really inspires me and which really can speak to you tonight in right moment in the current season. And I want you to, if you have a Bible, 如果你有圣经的话，请大家把圣经打开，翻到 Exodus 出埃及记14章 Exodus 14, chapter 14. And this is where and Moses led all the Israelites and in front of that Red Sea. And where there's no way out. There's no way out. And I just wanted to read this passage. And I probably will spare a couple weeks to cover this whole story of that Exodus. Because I just want you to be ready to go home with God. Because it's time for us to get ourselves ready to go home. So if you have your Bible with you now, and let's read this together. Let's read this together. Moses answered the people, okay, when they come to the Red Sea, and when they cannot find a way out, and they heard that the Pharaoh was running after them with big group of armies, and so they were so scared, they were so panicked because they found that they were dying, and there's no one can deliver them. So all the Israelites went to Moses and complained. And this is what Moses told his people. He said, Moses answered the people, "Do not be afraid. Stand firm, and you will see the deliverance the Lord will bring you today. The Egyptian you see today, you will never see again. The Lord will fight for you. You need only to be still." You only needed to be still. Then the Lord said to Moses, "Why are you crying out to me? Tell the Israelites to move on. Raise your staff and stretch out your hand over the sea to divide the water so that the Israelites can go through the sea on dry ground." And this is a very powerful message, and this is that we can see a great miracle happened to the Israelites who were stuck in the middle of between the Red Sea and the Pharaoh's army. So I just want you to see, okay, put yourself in their situation and look around. Probably this is too far away from you, but I believe it's very easy for you to relate it today. And my friend, especially for our brother, sister, you're watching. And I know being Christian, and you just claim, okay, so I have God already taken me out of my darkness, out of slavery, and into the marvelous light. God has brought you out of slavery. So you said, okay, I'm ready. I'm going the journey with my God, Now, yes, you left this world and are ready to go with your God. But you know what? The Christian journey has never been easy. And even when you left, you are joyful. You still remember? And Moses, Moses and Miriam, and all the Israelites were very happy when God brought them out of Egypt. They were so happy because they finally can have freedom, and they no longer under the persecution of the Egyptian. But those happiness did not last too long, and they came to this big challenge of their life. And today, my friend, so yes. And what can you see? And I want you to put yourself in and also think about how the Israelites feel about that. So what was in front of the Israelites? What was in front of them? Here we do see, and Moses told them, okay, well, I'm going to take you to a promised land. Promised land. And Moses did describe it, how beautiful it is. But to those Israelites who live in Egypt for a long time, probably no one have ever been to the promised land. And so there is a destination, and Moses portrayed to his people. So this is somewhere, but they don't really see that. They have not really see that. 摩西给了他一个应许之地。上帝借着摩西给了他应许之地，这个应许之地在他们眼当中可能只是一个虚无缥缈的事情，看不见的。但是呢，他们凭着这个信心呢，至少他们会觉得比现在所住的埃及会更好一点。So in their perspective, probably okay, this promised land at least is much better than Egypt, because where I can have my freedom, I'm no longer under the slavery of an Egyptian. So there is a promised destination in front of them, but they don't know where it is exactly. They just started their journey, so now they're in face of an uncertainty journey. So they don't know what might happen, and right now they're stuck there, and in front of them is a big sea which they will never be able to cross. So this future journey is full of challenges, full of uncertainties. And what there's immediate challenge in front of them? They got to know that Pharaoh was running after them, tried to kill them, tried to take them back to Egypt. Tried to take them back to Egypt and enslave them again. So they were so scared because they just left with everything and they thought, okay, they will never go back. But now someone is trying to come and try to get them back. They don't really want to go back to their former life, the previous lives. So they were so scared. And they are not ready to fight. They don't know how to fight. So The natural reaction is actually, I need to run. We need to run. But you know what? God brought them into an area, there's no way for them to run. In front of them, there is a big sea, and they cannot go anywhere. And they have like a lot of young kids, women. They also have a lot of animals. So there's no way for them to leave all the things behind and run away. No. So immediate challenge is actually say they don't know what to do. They don't know what to do. And limited resources. They don't have boats. They don't have boats which can take them across that Red Sea. They don't have that chariots. They don't have like battles equipment. They have nothing, and they have not been trained to be a soldier, so they don't know how to fight. They have been slaves for years. So they have very limited resources they can use. So that's a reason, and so naturally, they just started to complain. They started to complain to whom? They were planning to complain to God, but they cannot see God. They said, let me complain Moses, because God appointed Moses to be our leader. So they just dump everything to Moses. Why did you take us over here? Why did you take us over here? And I'm just really wanted to use pause here. Where are you now? My friend, being Christian, God point us, okay, there is a promised land. And I'm taking you there. And no one have ever been to that promised land. That's heaven. We're in front of us. So there is a promised destination we are going. But we are also in this uncertain journey, because we don't know what might happen next. Now we have this coronavirus, and so we don't know what's going on. But God does tell us, what will be ahead of us. But we have not experienced that, so it's uncertain for most of us. We don't know, okay, what's ahead of us? What kind of challenge ahead of us? So what can I do, and how can I finish my journey? And what is immediate challenge, my friends? Even right now, just like you are stuck there, and right now we're in the middle of a pandemic of coronavirus, and people get scared, and all of a sudden you cannot go out, and you have to stay at home, and you start to keep some like a safe distance with your friends, with your family, and even you go out for shopping, and you want to get some grocery, you feel not safe any longer, and then you are starting, okay, is there any virus over there I cannot see? And you don't have any way you don't know how to deal with that. The only way you say, okay, try to protect yourself, and then you found that there's nothing I can use to protect myself, because those are invisible. And even I will try to protect it, I want to try to find a mask, I will try to find some hand sanitizer. I found that this country is run out of that. I could not find any of them. You stuck there. And the coronavirus, and every day if you look at the news, if you read it as a social media, any news will pop out on the social media, and you will find it that the increasing confirmed cases. Today is more than 100,000 confirmed cases. Even here in this little town, this little county, there's over 30 confirmed cases in one death already. It's a lot of challenge. And you feel that this situation of coronavirus getting worse and worse, but in front of you, there's no solution. And you don't know where to go. You don't know how to save yourself. And you don't want to be infected, but you don't know how to run away from that. You don't have resources to go. And this is where we are today. And my friend, tonight, I just want you to start to think about it. I just want you to start to think about it. Okay, are you in the same kind of situation as those Israelites? They are ready to leave, but now they are stuck there. And our natural reaction is to complain. And you may complain, God, why? Why you put us into this kind of situation? We are your follower, and we love you. And why did you put us? Why do you put us into this kind of situation? And a lot of, I know, and some, especially, I feel like, especially we need to pray for all our brothers and sisters who are working in a hospital, you know. Some may very struggle as well. So, and what you have is so limited, you know, so you really don't know how to protect yourself, you know. So you think, okay, your destiny is doomed, and there's no way for you to run away from this coronavirus. But I just want you to move on. If we stay there, if we stay there, if all the Israelites started to complain, and I know so many people started to complain to Moses, complain to the leaders, there's no way for them to work it out their way. When they started to complain, they feel more panic. When they start to complain, and they feel like, okay, they're so more desperate. Because their eyes focus on their challenge. Their eyes focus on what is in front of them. But tonight, I just want you to review, you know, the solution God gave to Moses and gave the Israelites. And I want you to refresh your memory and how God led them out of that very difficult, challenging situation. And let's back to that passage. Back to this passage, we can see that when Moses cried to God, God said, "Hey, why are you crying to me?" And you just needed to tell the Israelite, tell your people, you stand firm and be still. Stand firm and be still. And then he asked him, raise up your staffs, divide the water, and then tell them to move on. It was a mission unachievable. Can I say unachievable? But you know what? In God, it looks like it's so easy. God just like tell Moses, okay, this is what you need to do. Okay, if you guys just sitting there to complain, and it will not help you at all. But there's a solution already available. But before you can see the solution, before that can see the miracle, you have to do your part first. You have to do your part first. What is that? And let's just move. Okay, see. You got to stand firm. Stand firm. My friend, what is that? When in the middle of that challenge, in the middle of the disaster, whatever, you know, so our natural reaction, our natural response to that is run away. Just as my friends, my family, because they really care about me, and they want me to, okay, Dennis, just run away from that. It's a very dangerous place. Just go home, and we can protect you. That's much safer there. And I believe that most natural reaction for those Israelites in front of the Red Sea and in face of those like Pharaoh's armies, and they say, okay, let's run. We are so tempted to try to find our own way. You know, sometimes the complaint is one way. You just find out you want outlet that's uneasy inside of your heart, your anger inside of your heart. And because you're trying to blame someone else, then you do not need to do anything. You will not need to do anything. And a lot of people say, this is the way, and try to help myself to stay free of guilt. And God is okay. You got to stand firm. Stand firm what? Stand where you are. Stand where you are. Stand where you are, my friend. It's so easy to run away, but right now, if you really want to truly experiencing of what God is going to show you, and you have to stand firm, and don't try to find your own solution. And you just need to stand firm, because, you have to remember who brought them in front of to the Red Sea. God himself brought them over. My friend, if this is not you yourself, took yourself into that kind of danger, and you can stand still. You can stand firm. If God took you there, and I truly believe, because I'm here, I'm staying in American, I'm still right now here, and God brought me over here, and God gave me a promise. God want me to stay here, and God want me to see the needs of this place. And we prayed for so many days and hours, and God gave a very, very clear direction. Okay, this is a place and you got to stay for a while. I don't know how long I need to stay here, but I do believe God sent me over here for a special purpose. If this is God's will, I don't need to be afraid. I do not need to be afraid. My friend, do not be afraid. And as the Israelites, because they were so afraid, because when they see the challenge, see the danger, they were so afraid. They forget, they ignore that the pillar of a cloud just in front of them. That is the presence of God. That's the proof of the presence of God. And they know that the pillar of cloud had been leading them after they left Egypt. But right now, they turn their eyes away from the pillar of a cloud and then turn their eyes to the Red Sea. How vast of that Red Sea and how difficult it is. And they turn their eyes back to their enemies who are chasing after them. My friend, you cannot stand firm if you keep looking at the coronavirus. If you every single day you keep checking out, okay, how many confirmed cases, and okay, the coronavirus is coming to me. Yes, you got to be careful. You need to protect yourself. But if you are overwhelmed by the news, by what's going on, and by what other people tell you, you will not be standing firm because you are so scared. You will lose your ground. 朋友们，今天如果我们把眼光单单只关注在我们身边所听到所有的不好的信息，我们只关注到呢不断增加的这个案例。如果我们眼睛只盯牢那些让我们无法呼吸的困难，你根本就没法站立得住，你一定会到处奔跑，寻找自己人的解决方案。My friend, the secret to not be afraid is actually you have to still keep your eyes upon the pillar of cloud. God has never left them. Be still, my friend. Be still. It's harder to be still. You know, in time of trouble, it's very hard to be still. How can I be still? How can I be still? It's dangerous just it's just right beside me. How can I still remain still? You cannot. But you know what, my friend? Once you starting to, I know there's a turbulence. You know, this come into your heart. And you will never be able to really come down and say, okay, hey, God, I need to do something because you have not shown me the way out. I have to do my own way. Once you start that, and you open your window, you open the door to more temptation. And I don't know what's going on there. And I know that Moses, it's a very difficult job for Moses. Moses came with almost more than 500,000 of Israelites, excluding the women and the children. And I don't know how many people started crying, how many people complaining, and maybe all the camps around the people are full of crying and curse. I still remember when I was back to 2008, and for that, it's a challenge of economy. And it's 28 or 20 some days, you know. So I wanted to write a message to all my co-workers. So I just put a picture in it. So it's just like one person working ahead, you know, across a bridge, you know. So, and this bridge is actually it's an elevated bridge, you know. So underneath is a rolling wave waters, you know. So and both sides of the cliffs, you know. So both sides of cliffs, you know. So and I still remember, and I just put some words, you know, tell my people, say, okay, hey, don't look it down. You will be so scared because, you know, those water is like it's looking like trying to come to get you. Don't look at right side or left side because those are both cliffs, and you will feel so scared that you don't want it to fall apart from that bridge. And you don't look it back. Don't look it back. And I told them, okay, keep your eyes forward. That's the only way. And I asked all my coworkers, you know, what really scare you? What really scare you? And some people say, hey, those water does not really scare me. The cliff does not really scare me. What really scare me if I'm traveling with someone who's screaming, who's cursing, who are desperate, and whatever the message come from them will really bother me, really annoy me, and really scare me. Yes, my friend, if you keep your ears open to those curse, to those scary news around you, and you probably will get very discouraged, and you will get very scared because nothing positive come to your ear. But you know what? Your ear needs to focus on you need to incline your ear to something positive. You need, just as the Israelites need to incline the ear to what Moses is going to say. It's not what his neighbor is going to say, not what his friends is going to say. Because what Moses said is coming from God. My friend, their eyes need to keep focused on the pillar of cloud. And that's where God is still present. So my friend, today same thing. And you gotta need to remain still. Don't get panic. Don't start to figure it out. Don't complain. And because if you do so, and you will not find ease in your heart. And it will get worse and worse. Will get worse and worse. Next, I really want to say, what God asked Moses to raise the staff. Raise the staff. What does that mean? You do your part. You do your part. You need to stand firm. You need to be still. And today, you also need to raise the staff. What is that staff? After Moses obeyed God's calling, and I still remember in verse, and I don't have time to go there, but actually, so that was Moses' staff. But later on in the same verse, and it changed to be that's God's staff. God's staff. The staff is shepherd rod, could not do anything. But you know why? Because God asked Moses to take that staff with him, and God told him, okay, this is my staff. This is representing my presence with you, my being with you. And this is something when Moses raised up the staff, is raised up God's authority. And I surrender. God, I surrender everything to you. And I gave my sovereignty to you. And you are the one are leading. You are the one are leading. And when Moses raised up the staff, which means, okay, he acknowledged my weakness. And also acknowledge God's strength. God's strength. My friend, you can stand firm. You don't run around. Don't be quiet. But you got to raise up the staff, and you got to surrender everything before God. And you need to give God back to the place He is supposed to be. And you need to give God's glory He deserves. My friend, you cannot figure out the way. And you yourself cannot cross the Red Sea. You cannot overcome the challenge in front of you. You got to raise the staff. You got to exalt God, Almighty God. How can you do that? How can you do that? When I started to think about it, okay, what does the staff? Moses was in wilderness for almost 40 years. And that staff he used it for, that staff he used it for his job. He was a shepherd. He had to have that staff to keep his sheep safe. Which means actually that staff represented his power over his career. His strength over his career. My friend, so I know in this world, everybody, so God gave you talent, and you work in different places, and you can be very successful. And God also gave that to you in your hands. A lot of time we think, okay, this is something, and I can, and make my name big. This is something which can help me to find my own place in this world. But you know what? When you come to this moment, and you do need to raise up God's instead of yours. Because you are so easy to find your own way. Okay, I have my resources. I have my way to do it. I have my way to do it. You know, when Moses left wilderness, when Moses left, and his father-in-law, and this staff is no longer the shepherd's staff. This staff is representing in God's presence. And I just want you, my friend, and whatever you have tonight, whatever you have, you have. And I want you to use that to raise up God in your life. And only by doing so, and you will truly experience that miracle. You will able to see that God's presence with you. Because that's a good reminder. Keep telling you, okay, I am still with you. I am still with you. A lot of time, we are so easy to forget, where is God? I know, my friend, if you keep holding that, if you still use that for this world business, and Moses will only be the shepherd forever. Moses will not be that great leader in the last 40 years of his life. He will remain in the wilderness to be the shepherd, and that staff will never tell them and how powerful God is. That staff only tell them, okay, hey, this is a way I can keep a living, make a living, because that's a way to keep your sheep safe. And he will never experience that 40 years God's continuous leading, God days and night presence in his life. And what is next? God tells them, okay, next, then move on. Okay, so when you raise up the staff, when Moses raised up the staff, and then now you hand over everything to God. You now do your part, and now it's God's time for God to do his part. To divide the seed, to divide the water is God's part, it's God's business, and God have to do it. My friend, even though you are in the middle of trouble probably, and even though you are maybe in the middle of suffering, but you know what? As long as you exalt God in your life, as long as you stand firm with your faith, as long as you be still, you still put all your trust in God, as long as you gave your life to God, as you raise up God's name in your life, next, you just wait to see how God is going to show you his great works. Moses saw that. Israelites saw it. In my life, I have seen many of that. And I know God will continue to do that. Are you willing to do that? Are you willing when you raise up and wait to see how God is going to do that? Coronavirus make me think a lot. I used to think, I can do this and do that. Even as God also gave me I think God gave even my ministry a very good pause button. Why? I was very excited. Okay, I can see that this church is starting to moving to the right direction, and I was very happy to see more people coming to join us, and our leader are ready to serve, and so it looks like we have everything. And now it's we are so tempted to start to do our own way. We want to make this church to be big and strong, and we may follow our own way. And I really appreciate what God has done in my life as well. And God want to humble us. He told me that, Dennis, no, that's not the right way. And you got to stop. You see, and you are going to preach to the empty pews. And you are going to minister to those people you will not be able to see. You have to use your tax. You have your phone. A lot of time we'll get very excited by seeing so many people are present. But we ignore. And how important it is actually we really reach the soul, the heart. People can be here. A lot of people can come over here maybe for the friendship, for potluck, for food, for whatever purpose. But you know what? Once everything's gone, if you're still seeking God, which means something really going on in your heart. A lot of people say, okay, hey, Lord, and I like this church. I really like this church because this church I can see we have so many people in here. We can get involved and we can really help all young people. But now it's like no one come to church. No one can come to church. What else can you do now? My leaders, my church leaders, all my friends, are you just trapped at home and you do nothing? And God wanted you to do something else. God, even in a made a very difficult time, just as Moses, it looked like Moses is alone. Everybody's trying against him. But God, you speak to his heart first, and you have like a very good conversation in made of a challenging time, and you tell him what he's supposed to do. And my leaders, if you're watching tonight, I just challenge you. And you got to incline your ear to God. A lot of time we are complaining, God, it was a very good moment. It was a very good time. And God, why didn't you hold this coronavirus? Then we can continue to grow this church, make this church big, and everybody can know, and more people can come to this church. But God, no. It's not only for the people come to church. It's time for all our leaders to get the office ready. No matter whether you have people or don't have people, you still have faith in God, and you still have the willingness to serve God, and you still incline your ear to God and what God is going to talk to you, and then I can still do your part, my friend. And God want to train us to learn to surrender everything as Moses, because in front of us, more challenge will come. I'm guaranteeing to you. And one day we'll have to go through that greater tribulation. And are you ready for that? And all these things this is just give you some taste. You need to start to prepare yourself, because if you don't get yourself ready, and one day and you will lose your heart. One day you will walk away, and you will be like some other people, run away from all the challenges. This is not only speaking to you, this is speaking to myself as well. And God would keep telling me, remind me how good He is. A lot of time I did complain, but God helped me to repent and who I was. My friend, once you raise up, once you exalt God in your life, in your ministry, in your teaching, whatever you do, and you will be able to see a way out. Where there is no way, there is a way in God's eyes. And God will tell you, move on, my friend, move on. When you think there's no way to go, and God will make a way for you. And you just needed to move on. Move on. My friend, before you really can enter the promised land, and then you will have to go through all different kind of challenge of your life. And you have to go through all this kind of like even some miserable moment of life. But you know what, my friend? As long as you still can hear what God is trying to telling you, you are safe. As long as you're willing to do whatever God asks you to do, you are safe. Can you hear God telling you, move on, my friend? Even though this is very difficult to see the moment, move on. I am leading. I am leading. I will protect you. My friend, do you still remember? Let's see if here. Psalm 46, verse 10 to 11. Be still and know that I am God. I will be exalted among the nations. I will be exalted in the earth. The Lord Almighty is with us. The God of Jacob is our fortress. My friend, be still, because you know that He is God. If you know He's God, He's a creator, He's also our Redeemer, nothing is impossible in Him. You do not be afraid, my friend. You do not need to complain, because He already has a solution in place, and you just need to wait and see. You got to exalt Him. See, I will be exalted among the nations. Once you do that, people around you are going to see how great God is, because your life tell them how great God is. And then you will be able to see Exodus 14 and continue, you will be able to see that. And even you will see it, a lot of those Egyptians are running after them, but they are still so scared. Even they can see their way out. But you know what? God will intervene. God himself will intervene. And we will see that the pillar of cloud move from in front of them and back behind them. They block. They keep a good distance between Israelites and Egyptians. My friend, if you follow God's lead, if you raise up God, if you exalt God in your life, and God himself is responsible for protecting you, and he himself will intervene, even though that danger looks so close to you, so close even that it's ready to grab you, cap you, but you don't need to be afraid because God is there. God is there. And God is right behind you and protect you, and you will go through all the difficult journey safely. And I want you to move on. And so, in the wilderness, even 40 years, of course, because of disobedience, they had 40 years, which was not supposed to be that long. But they had 40 years. Even that in that difficult 40 years, and you will be able to see that the pillar of cloud and pillar of fire was with them every single day. They did not prepare too much food for themselves because they did not plan for that long journey. But God gave them manna, the food of angel, every single morning except that Sabbath day. They were well fed. This was very healthy food. I believe much better than the organic food. It's much better. This is healthy food, and this is the food that actually God fed them 40 years. And when they went into the desert, there's no water, and God called the water out of the rock and feed them for 40 years as well. My friend, I know a lot of people start to worry about that because they may be laid off and they may lose their job, and it's after this coronavirus, and the economy is so much uncertainty of the economy, and you may see that a lot of people worry about their future, worry about the food, how they can keep their mortgage, how can keep their kids, so financial. And I know there will be a lot of challenge, but you know what? The God who can provide, God will give you daily bread. Daily bread, my friend. And God gave Israelites daily bread, give them what they need. And God will give you what you need as long as you remain faithful in his promises. And as long as you do your part. And God will provide and God will sustain. This is a miracle they have experienced 40 years. During that 40 years that I led you through the desert, your clothes did not wear out, nor did the sandals on your feet. My friend, so this is a miracle. But a lot of people say, oh, no, it cannot be like that. I still remember there's a sister in Shanghai. I still remember. And because for the budget of the church, when we did a church renovation, and we cannot afford to pay some other people to do that. So a big group of our volunteers were planning to do by ourselves. And I still remember one sister. And actually, so she was busy in the church, so for almost 40 days, more than 30 for sure, for 30 days, and she did not have time to get her rice, so her husband was not Christian. But normally every 10 days they needed to go get some new supply, new bag of rice. But she just could not go because she was very busy, and so every day early in the morning she went to church and came home very late, or the store she could not go to get any rices, and she just prayed, God, I know, and so you're with me, and so but she even did not think about that. Okay, she needed to get, but you know what? She shared with us, for that month or more than 30 days, almost 40 days, which she was supposed to get every 10 days. And she told us, so she found that a rice in that jar never fall short. Never fall short. And I know God is with her, and this miracle can happen to you and me as well. My friend, as long as you put all your trust in God. I still remember our brother Carlisle shared and his testimony of his mom, and God gave her a bill of $200, right? $200, so when she was in desperate need. And God can provide. I know, my friend, of course, you need to do your part. You need to do as just Israelites. They need to get up early. They need to get up early before sunrise. They need to go out to collect the manner as God asked them to do. If they don't obey, if they say, no, God, you provide it, you needed to send everything in-house. No, God will not do that. You got to do your part, and God can provide what you need. And that's something you needed to. So God can do the same miracle in your life. I know there's so much uncertainty in the future, and my friend, just give yourself to God. Give yourself to God. Follow His lead. As long as you are still under His lead, you do not be afraid. As long as the Israelites remain in that Moses leader and under God's leader through Moses, they do not be afraid. But God only sent a manna to their camps, not other tribes, nor other people, nations. And I just want to, before I close, I want to use this one to remind you. Isaiah 43, verse 18 to 19. 18 to 19. Forget the former things. Do not dwell on the past. See, I am doing a new thing. Now it springs up. Do you not perceive it? I am making a way in the desert and streams in the wasteland. My friend, it's so easy to travel back. It's okay, hey, I had that good life, and you start to complain, hey, why God? Just like those Israelites, they complained to Moses. Moses, why did you do that? We were good over there. We at least had the food there. And we can have friends, we can eat meat, and we can have vegetables, but you brought us into the wilderness, and we had nothing to eat. They totally forgot their slavery. Their identity over there was there. But God is okay. A lot of time we're easy to look back. Okay, I was okay. The life was so good. The life was so good there. 2 months ago or last year, 3 years ago. To dwell on the past, dwelling on the past will not help you at all. And what you really need to move forward. And if you keep looking back, you will not like to move on. If you don't move on, you will not be able to see the way out. And you will be stuck there forever. If you just sit there complaining and you will be stuck in a wilderness, you will never be able to enter the promised land. As those Israelites complained, they were destroyed in the wilderness before they reached the promised land. My friend, you got to move on with God and move on with God's lead, and then you will be able to see that God is making a way in the desert, in a stream in the wasteland. And I spent some time in reading the Great Controversy, and in the last couple chapters, especially, they are talking about a lot of the Great Tribulation, and we are going to facing. And very soon, my friend, and you will be in great shortage of that time, and people start running after you, just like those Egyptians running after the Israelites. And you found there's no way for you to go, and no way for you to run away. And you found that the people just blame on you, and people don't like you, and you will not be able to do the business. You will not even go out to shopping. People started trying to stay away from you, and so even take you to court, put you in your jail, try to kill you. My friend, it is time. And I saw the promise. God will send His angel surround you. Even when you are very difficult moment, the angels there. And they are just waiting for the command from God. And once God has sent a command, now it set them free. And you will be able to see. And God wants to deliver us out of this troubled world. And we are going. And my friend, tonight, I just want to once again, I will remind you, we have a great God. And we have a loving kind of God. He loves you. And if you are willing to follow Him, you got to follow Him wholeheartedly. If you are willing to give yourself to His lead, and you need to give your whole heart to Him. God can make a way even in the desert. And God can bring out the streams in the wasteland. My friend, because He is the one who can provide. He is the one who make a way. And I want to cheer with you up. And in the next couple of weeks, maybe a couple of months, and you may see more and more, even more bad news. And you will see more difficult situation. And you may see worse economy. My friend, I want to challenge you. Give your faith to God, just like the Israelites. And once they start giving their faith to God, and they will see the miracles. And it's time for us to leave. This world is not perfect. This is not our home. I'm ready to go home. I'm looking forward to going home. Are you ready to go home? If you're ready, if you think this world is not your home, get yourself ready. Rise up, or get yourself ready, rise up. Or let's pack and let's go home. Let's go home. Because Jesus is coming very soon and He's willing to take us home. And where He has prepared a great home for you and us. And He's going to spend throughout the eternity with us. My friend, are you ready to go that heavenly promised land? If you do, and I want you to invite you standing up. And I just tell God, God, I'm ready. I really will go home. Prepare me, whatever you wanted to do in my life. Just get me ready, because I don't want to miss that. I wanted to go home. I want to go home with you. And even though that in front of us, there's still a lot of challenge, a lot of uncertainty, but I'm not afraid. I'm not afraid. I will stand firm, and I will be still, and I will raise up our staff, and I will move on with you. And because you, God alone, can deliver, and because wherever you take us, there is a peace, there's a joy, and there's a crown that is waiting for us. My friend, let's just stand up. Let's stand up, and I invite you to stand up, and let's have a very, very special prayer. And I want you to give your heart to God. Give your heart to God, because He loves you, and He loves you. He will love you to the very end to your life, and He will love you till the eternity. Let's have a prayer. Lord, we thank you very much. Thank you so much, and you turn our eyes back to the story of Moses, who led the Israelites out of Egypt, and you turn our eyes back to the miracle, and they experienced in Red Sea. And Lord, actually, so when they left, they were happy. But when they encountered the challenge, they started complaining. But Lord, and you use your faithful servant to reach those hearts and telling them, stand firm, be still. And you ask Him to raise up the staff which represent your power, your authority. You command them to move on. And God, you make a way where there is no way. Lord, tonight I know a lot of people are still crying. And a lot of people, man, that are sick bad, they cry for help or cry for delivery. My friend, because of coronavirus, this whole country almost had been half shut down. People could not go anywhere. Even a church all shut down. Lord, when you slow down everyone, you give us quality time to start to think about it. How we need to live our future life. Should we invest all our future life in this world, in this dying world? No, this is not what you want us to do. This world is not our perfect home. Lord, you keep reminding us we are strangers, we are soldiers in this world, and we need to go home where you lives. I want to go home. Lord, I also thank you very much for this time, special time, and you want all our ministers to really think about how they can reach other people in mid of a difficult moment. We take it for granted a lot of time. We just come to church. A lot of people are waiting for our message. We just prepare for a message for those people coming to the church, sitting in a pew faithfully. But Lord, right now, when we have to preach to the empty pews, and you really wanted us to open our eyes, it's not us. It's you minister the needs of our people. Without you, we could do nothing. Even we think sometimes we have good education, we know a lot. But those will not help at all. Those will never be able to reach the soul, the needs of people. Lord, tonight I just invite you to be present in each and everyone's life, speak into their heart, encourage them, and tell them, don't lose their heart. Keep their eyes focused on you. Even that in the wilderness, even in nowhere, and you can still make a way, and you will still provide. Every day you will give us what we need, as you gave to the Israelites the daily supply of manna, and you will give their water to remove their thirst. And Lord, I know and today you will do the same thing. And I know there's more challenging from us. The more challenges are coming. But Lord, you are training us, get us ready. And you want us well trained today. And then we can be ready for tomorrow's challenge. Lord, you want to stage our life, be ready for the coming tribulation, coming challenges season. We thank you very much. I just want to give each everyone to your hand. 亲爱的主耶稣，我将每一个亲爱的东西都交在你圣手当中。每个人今天拿个眼泪，你都纪念，愿主保守每个人心怀意念。你今天来预备我们的心，今天来装备我们，今天就让我们看见耶和华上帝依然活在我们当中，让我们能够静默不作声，让我们依然把我们的全备的信义放在你身上，让我们的高举耶和华的圣名。让我们义无反顾，勇往直前。生命的主，你是旷野开道路、沙漠开江河的主，你今天会活在我们当中，你的应许一定会实现。我们如此相信，我们愿意降服，愿意紧跟你的脚踪。May you lead our way, and we are looking forward to that day we are going to see you face by face in your glory. We thank you so much, Lord. We pray in Jesus' wonderful, precious name. Amen. Thank you so much, my friend. Thank you so much for joining me. And even though I cannot see you, but I can feel that you are with me. And may God's words encourage you and comfort you. And tonight I just mentioned, so some people are still sick. I know some people are sick, and you text me. And but your name always in my prayer, every day's prayer. And some people, you are still struggling for finding a new job, and your name are in my prayer as well. I pray for you. And some people, you are traveling back home, and you don't know, you still cannot find a way, and I will pray for you as well. And may God open the door, and may God take you home safe. And I know some people still struggling in how you will be able to really take care of your kids because of coronavirus. And actually, you have to all the kids moved online, and you need how to balance your own life, your work, and so you are in my prayer as well. And I know a lot of people still older brother, sister, and you cannot go out. You don't have any protections, So and you are in my prayer as well. And I'm going to receive, my family is going to send me some masks. Once I receive, I will let you guys know if you need a couple masks, so I can deliver them to you. And if you need, especially our older brothers, sisters, if you need someone to help you to get some grocery, get some like food or whatever, so just text me, and I will protect myself, and I will also make sure, and I will get you what you need. And I want to invite everyone at home because a journal conference and launch 100 days prayer. So I'm going to share with you that the material of the 100 days prayers, and I want to encourage you every morning. They said every morning 7 o'clock, every night 8 o'clock, and we can kneel down and around the world to pray and pray for different things. Just join us to pray. And next Tuesday, I believe I will try to do live here in the church, and then more people can join us. And we had a lot of people join us through Zoom, but probably more people would like to join us as well. So I'm going to do from the church. So if you wanted to join us, and please search High Point Chinese SDA Church in YouTube Also, you can follow us on Facebook. It's same thing as High Point Chinese SDA Church, and you will be able to see us. And I want you to encourage you to share with your friends, and so those people, they don't have church to go, and you can join us. Every Tuesday from 7 to 8:30 is our prayer meeting, and I want you to join us. Every Friday 7 to 8:30 is our Vesper, and every Saturday from 9 to 10:15 is our Sabbath school. Right now we still have a Chinese Sabbath school, and I believe we are going to have our English Sabbath school or youth Sabbath school and be online, and so. But we will direct you to some resources, and then you can join us from 10:30 to 12 is our divine service. So I still want you to invite you to join us, and I'm thinking, if someone will be interested, I may want to have a Bible study for any new, they were interested in know more about Bible, and I will invite you probably Saturday afternoon, and maybe next week I will let you know. We will start to have very special Bible study group, and so to get to know God more, God, And once again, thank you very much for joining us, and have a great Sabbath, and I would like to see you tomorrow morning.